All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Chasing Ghosts. This is the video series where I talk about those hard to find, those impossible to find comic books, those things you just don't see up on the wall when you go to your LCS on Wednesday. These are books that are going to take a little bit of research and a lot of luck in a lot of cases for you to track down and find. Now, I got a bunch of books to present you this week, like I do every week. Not all of them are going to be ghosts, but maybe a couple of them will, and the rest will just be some hard to find comics that are just lower printed and just not that easy, to track down. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel, even though we did hit our minor milestone goal of 2,000 subs. Thank you all for the support. I really do appreciate it. We all appreciate it here on the channel, and it was a bit of a road. It took us a few months from 1,500 to 2,000, but not that bad. It was only like I think March. I think we hit 1,500 in March. So March to September is not too bad. So thank you again for all the support. And I'm gonna have the giveaway announcement coming soon. I'm still working out the details of what I do want to give away. It's probably gonna be a couple of prizes, and I'll give you, like I said, some details later in the week, most likely. And with that said, hopefully you're like I said, you're enjoying this. Just bear with me as I come up with the prize ideas. And if you want to know what books I got for you this week, all you need to do is just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back with this week's selections. Okay, so for our first book, we are going to look at a little bit of a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. We are going to be looking at issue 1 of the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider series. This was a Tradmore cover from November 2016, only a 1 in 25, so the incentive isn't that high, but it's still not that easy of a book to track down when you go out there actually looking for it. Decent print run of about 57,000. Again, these are all estimated numbers, and then our incentives are based off of those estimates as well. So none of this is concrete. None of this is set in stone. I know we've gotten into that over the last couple of weeks, but I just want to reiterate it so you guys know what we're dealing with here. This is just some ballpark figures that give us our best available information of what we can guess is out there. So with that, let's see what we have in the census. We have approximately 25 copies of this in the census with 12 9/8s, 11 9/6s, and it looks like 9/4 and then a random 7/0 for some reason. But those are all 25 copies that we have in the census. And this book, considering there's about 2,300 potential copies out there, this has sold. There's a bunch of sales. Here's a few examples just to give you ballpark figures. 9/8s have been selling for about $150 to $200 there in August. And back in July, there was a raw sale of this book for $51. So double ratio is not too bad as far as if you had one, as far as a return. Now, if you want to go buying, obviously, I'm not recommending anybody pay the market prices. But if you do, I guess you could do worse than double ratio. But there are copies out there. I know I said it's tough to find, but it's not impossible to find. There are more than this out there right now. There's a few. These are 3 examples of what's out there. Raw is asking $60 to $100, and then there's a 9/8 asking $300 as well. Again, as some examples. There's not a lot more than this, but there are a few more if you go and check eBay right now. So this one, there are copies, but with 2,300 estimated for this 1 in 25. I'm not too surprised by that. But this was issue 1, and issue 1 always has an inflated print run because it's a new series and everybody's giving it a shot. Now, for whatever reason, even though the stores have to make their orders before issue 1, issue 2 always has a drop. And here we have issue 2 of this same series. This is a 1 in 25 cover. I picked this up actually at a shop for $5. The shop that I know I can get variants at $5, and I was happy to do so. But I like this. I don't know, something cool about the shifting the gear, the Ghost Rider headgear. That's kind of fun to me. But another 1 in 25, David Lopez cover, December 2016, and this one had again print run dropped potentially to about 37,000, which makes our incentive only about 1,400 to 1,500 thereabouts. So again, not a tiny number, but significantly less than issue 1. So when we look at the census, we also notice there's significantly less in the census, as there is only one. It's a 9.8, but there's only one in the CGC census right now. So keep that in mind as well. One copy had sold in the last couple of months, and it sold for all of $10. Not a bad price. Like I said, I only paid 5, but getting it for 10, I gotta say, I'm usually a buyer at that kind of price. For a fun series, a cover that I like, less than half ratio, I'm usually in. So not a bad pickup for whoever got that book right there. Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's any other $10 copies out there, but it's not too much more. Only about $15 raw. Again, this one's not that expensive. It's not too bad. Oh, well, $10.50. All right, so not quite $9.99, but $10.50. There is still a copy to be had if you're interested. Again, I don't know if there's any legs to this book or anything like that, but I just kind of like it, and I think it's a fun cover for a 1 in 25. Now, this particular issue, but not issue 1, had a 1 in 50 that is much more sought after than this one. So you'll see a significant difference in this. 1 in 50 cover here. It looks like a magazine cover to me, almost like a Men's Health or something like that. But this is the 1 in 50 for the same issue, Kevin Wada cover. This one with that same estimate is going to give you only about 744 potentials for this incentive, which again, it's significantly less because it's half of the 1 in 25s. And in the census, CGC census, there's more than the one that we had for the 1 in 25. This one has all of 10. 998s, and it looks like 194. So only 10 copies still in the census is not too many. Copies sold on this one, again, are significantly more than the 1 in 25. We're looking at $81 raw, $200 and $225 9/8s recently sold over the last couple of months. And if you want to go shopping for one, unfortunately, you're out of luck because there are none out there right now. Surprising, but none out there right now. So if you want to go hunting for it, good luck. Good luck. And you might need some more luck for the rest of this run because, yeah, we got a couple of more. No more 1 in 50s. These only go back down to the 1 in 25s. But here we have issue 3, also Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. Pretty fun. You got Totally Awesome Hulk there. You got X-23. You got Silk. Or I guess she was Wolverine at that point, but I still call her X-23. Just have it, I guess. But this is a Raza cover. And I know a lot of people are fans of Raza's art. Not bad. 1 in 25, January of 2017 on this one. That print run is down to about 22,000. So even though it's a 1 in 25 and not a 1 in 50, the incentive is pretty close number wise, because this is only about 800, just under 900 for this potential, for this particular one. So in the census for this, there are only 3, and they're all 9/8s, but there are only 3 for this variant. And this is another one that doesn't sell a whole heck of a lot. This had one sale that I could find over the last 3 months, and it was for $75 raw, which it's not too bad. I mean, that's triple ratio. So $75 raw ain't a tiny number, but it's just not an easy book to find. And there's only one out there right now. So that's all I could find in looking, and it wants $500. Granted, it's a 9/8, so it's a graded copy. One of those, what was it, 3, I said, or one of those few that are in the census. So one of those 3 9/8s is looking for $500. So again, like I said, not a cheap book at all. And then we got one more. We have one more all new, not all new, because all new was the series before this one. One more Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider variant for you. It is also a 1 in 25. This is for issue 4, the last one in this run. Felipe Smith, who did the regular cover as well, I believe, on this. And this is February 2017. This 1 in 25 gives you kind of a, almost like a Damian Priest kind of thing. You got the good side and the bad side here. It's Ages of S.H.I.E.L.D. cover, which is kind of interesting. But this particular one, print runs down all the way to about 15,000 now. So the incentive on this is down to about 613. Again, estimated potential copies. Not set in stone, not concrete numbers, just the best information that we have available. I get my print run info from Comic-Con. I'm sure most of you do as well, because there's not a lot of sources for this stuff out there. And then you just do the basic ratio math, and that's where I come up with the estimated numbers. Nothing set in stone here, so this is not gospel in any way. Moving on though to the census, this one has 15 copies in the census, which is kind of surprising considering that it's got the lowest amount out there potentially, but it has more than the last couple of 1 in 25s with 15. So there's 15 total, 10 9/8, and then a few others kind of rounding that out. And this book has not sold within the last 3 months that I could find. So I could find no examples of sales. And then I also couldn't find any copies available for sale. So this one really was kind of tough to get info on. So let's keep an eye out for this one. Uh, could be a tough one. Could be a tough one because, like I said, no sales and none out there right now. So who knows when we'll see another one again pop up on the market. But with that, that's enough Robbie Reyes Ghost Riders. We're going to pivot to another series, and we're going to look at X-Force. So I'm going to shift on over to all new Marvel Now. This is X-Force #1 from 2014. This is a Phil Noto cover, 1 in 50. I kind of like it. It's like a movie poster style. It's kind of fun. Almost looks like a trait, either like a paperback novel. It looks like a little bit to me, or even a VHS tape. I don't know. There's something about it, but I kind of like this cover. And this one had a decent print run of about 47,000. So the 1 in 50 is going to be about 948 copies, which again, not a tiny number, but it's definitely not a lot. It's under 1,000. In the census for this one, we're only looking at about a dozen copies with 10 9/8 and then a 9/6 and a 9/4, and that's it. Copies are selling on this particular book for, not too bad, surprisingly. $7.50 and $10, which for a 1 in 50, that's a deal to me. That's a deal. That's a steal. I like them. I get it. Not every book is going to be in demand. I'm just saying. A book like this, if I can get it for $10, I'm probably going to try to buy it. And I did look, but I couldn't find one to buy for that cheap. But I'll keep an eye out to try to get one. Because right now, I can only find copies asking $60 raw and $500 for a signature series 9/8. So no $10 copies or $7.50 copies. But hey, if you saw those examples, if you're patient, sometimes these things pop up. And I did a whole pickup show just last week where I showed you a bunch of these higher ratio incentive variants that I also won for cheap at auction. So if you look for stuff that's not, again, on the hot 10 lists or just books that everybody's talking about, if you just shop for books that you like, that have cool covers, and you might be able to get a deal out there from some of these prices. So just look what's out there. Just check the market. With that, this was the 1 in 50, as I said, but the 1 in 50 also had a 1 in 100 black and white version, which again, I'm not usually a fan of these black and whites when they just redo it, but this one's not bad. This one's not bad at all because the pencil work is very clear and defined. Phil Noto, I dig it. So it doesn't look too bad in black and white. So this is a 1 in 100 of the same book from February 2014. And the incentive on this one's going to be half. So it's only about 474 copies now. So we're looking at under 500 copies of the 1 in 100 sketch variant, which has 17 in the census, 13 9/8, 3 9/6, and then it looks like a 9/0 in there. So not a lot of copies. And this one, again, sold for cheap. I mean, by all intents and purposes, I mean, $25, 3 bids. One sold a couple of months ago for $25, which is, again, 25% a ratio. It's a 1 in 100 after all. So not too bad there. When you go shopping, though, for this one, there are surprisingly 4 copies out there that I found. $75 one, $70 raw, so both still under ratio at that raw price, and then a 9/8 asking $240, and then a signature series 9/8 asking only $200. So price is not terrible. It's still a little steep for my blood. Like I said, I'd rather be in at that 1 in 50 price at like $10 or $7.50 personally, but if you got it, go ahead and get it. So this is what you're looking at if you want to go shopping for one of these right now. And this is issue 1, and we're going to move to issue 2, which has a pretty cool Granoff cover. This is an Addy Granoff cover from March of 2014, 1 in 50 incentive for X-Force #2. Like I said, you got Phantom X, you got the Psylocke there. Pretty cool team, pretty cool squad they brought together. 33,000 estimated on the regular full print run, so the incentive could potentially be down as low as about 661, which again is not a lot. We're starting to get down on those lower numbers, so some of these books could get a little bit tougher to find. Census has only 9 copies with 4 9/8, 3 9/6, and then a couple of others to kind of round that out. There was a recent sale. Actually, no, this was back in June. One at auction for only $19 for this 1 in 50, which It's less than half ratio, not too bad. And then we have what's available. There are a few here. There was a raw that was had 3 hours left when I was putting the deck together. That was only about $15, and I believe I might have actually won that one. I'd have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure I did win this one as well. And it's kind of around that price. It isn't that much more than that. So, like I said, sometimes I take a shot and I try to pick up some of these books as I'm doing my research because I like it. I like Granoff. And you can see there, 9.6 signature series is about $200, and then a 9.8 CBCS signature series is $270. So not a lot of copies available on this one. And like I said, it was a decent price. So I took a shot, and I'm pretty sure, that I won. Maybe I should check my phone just to be certain. But this was again, I think this ended on Sunday. Yeah, I got the pay now on my alert. I still got to pay for it, but I did win a couple of books this weekend. And this particular one, let's see, I won it for 15. It didn't go up from there. So $15. That's where I won it. So there we go. Just so you know, I bought another one of the books on the list. But again, it's for me. It's not going out there to be sold or repackaged to you guys. That one's just for me. So good luck finding yours if you want one. Moving on, we're going to shift on over to DC. We haven't done DC in a while, and I don't know if these ones really will move the needle much because these are going to be actually pretty heavily printed. Like, I didn't think these were printed as highly as they were. I thought, all right, here we go. I got to run. Let's get some Justice League of America 1 in 25s. This should be interesting, right? This is an Andy Kubert cover. October 2009. It goes a ways back. 1 in 25. How many copies could have been printed of this? Well, Justice League was doing all right, apparently, back then. I don't remember this late in the run. Issue 38 was about 60,000. So that puts the 1 in 25 at almost over 2,400. Over 2,400 copies of the potentially of the 1 in 25. So that was definitely a lot more than I was expecting when I initially came up with these to check, to research for the list. But hey, you still got to look into it. I still got to see it through. So put these on the list, and here we go. Only 4 of them are in the census, so not a lot of people grading this Andy Kubert cover, if I'm saying his name properly. All of them 9.8s, though. One of them looks like the signature series, but all 4 are 9.8s. And this is a book that has not sold in the last couple of months, which is why I thought, hey, these were going to be tough to find. But there were a few out there. There was more than the 3 examples I have. And the examples I have are as cheap as $5 raw to $15 raw to a 9.8 that at the time was only at $46, $47 with no bids on it at the time. I thought about bidding, but I just decided against the impulse. But I mean, it's not too much for 1 in 25. You're going to pay $30 at least in grading fees. Actually, I think it's more now because I think CGC raised their prices. So unless you're getting like some sort of bulk savings, you could do worse than that. But I don't know what that one might have ended at, but it's definitely ended now because again, that was ending on Sunday. I think is when I was putting this stuff together. But that said, this was issue 38, and then I have a couple of more from this area of the run I figured I'd take a look at because they were 1 in 25. Let's see what we got here. So here's issue 42. So a couple of issues later, this is a cover by Adrian Mello and someone else, but I only did the Adrian Mello part because just unfamiliar with the artist. 1 in 25, February of 2010. Print run's still up there at about 57,000, so that incentive is potentially 2,300, which again is a healthy number. So I'm still surprised there's only 16 in the census with that many. But hey, I mean, a lot of people don't want to get these things graded. 9.98s and then a bunch of others just to fill out that 16. But like the first book, there's still none have sold within the last couple of months. So just no real market for these 2009, 2010 DC 1 in 25s, I guess. But I figured I'd take a look. And just like the other, there was 3 copies. Actually, the other one had more, but this one had 3 copies out there. Raw looking at 15 to 50. And then, I mean, the you pick them. That's just to show that these things don't even get their own listing. Like this is thrown in a lot, like not a lot, like a whole. You pick the issue, and granted, the pricing is probably gonna be more in that $28 range because it's a variant, but still, it doesn't get the respect of its own individual listing. So I thought that was kind of funny. But that's the only 3 that were out there. And like I said, 15 to 50, really looking for it raw, which is more than the other one because that was 5 to 15. So I guess it's the ladies. I guess maybe the ladies on the cover sell this one a little bit better. But the next issue also had on the 1 in 25. And this one, I'm surprised by the artist because I didn't see it. Like I see it now when I look at the Superman's face there. or that version of Superman. But this is a Mike Mayhew cover, which was, again, like I said, I didn't see it immediately. It just didn't scream Mike Mayhew because this was March of 2010, 1 in 25, and I was surprised by that as the artist. Still 56,000 plus on the full print run, so the incentive is still over 2,200 copies. So still a lot of these out there potentially, but only 3 in the census. Still only 3 in the census with 298s and a 96. So not a lot graded. And just like the last couple, nobody buying them. Nobody buying these lately. Nobody buying them. And this one, we're seeing the numbers go down though, because we had a few, and then we had 3. Now we only have 2 available, but it's available for only $7 to $10. So definitely cheap. Definitely cheap for an old Mike Mayhew variant. I mean, could do worse. Could do worse for that price. Less than half ratio. I don't know. I might consider it. I don't love the cover because of that red border. It really is distracting to me, but still, it's a pretty cheap price. And then I got one more DC for you. This is Justice League of America number 44, also a 1 in 25, and this is a David Mack cover. Pretty cool. It's Jade. You got Jade Returns. I kind of like the image. It's pretty cool with the that watercolor style that David Mack has. April 2010. So we're still more than a decade ago on these, but the print run bumped and jumped on this up to 62,000. So this incentive almost got up to 2,500. So almost there. So there's a decent number of these out there as well. But we only have 8 in the census still. Only 8. All of them are 9/8s, but there are only 8 in the census for this one. And this one, unlike the last, actually has a sold copy. One copy of this sold for a ratio, $25 back in July. So it's still a couple of months ago, but one copy did sell within the last 3 months at $25. And there are a few out there too, if you wanted to go shopping. Granted, they're looking for 25 to 40 broad prices, but there are copies available if this one were to interest you. But as I said, there's a decent number. So it's a pretty cool cover. I'd look into it, but I kind of wanted a discount if it were me shopping. So I don't know. You guys do what you like with the information, but I'm just putting it out there. Pretty cool cover, but I still would like a little bit more of a deal. But that said, I got one more book for you. One more fun oddball book for you. I don't know if you guys remember the series Sex Criminals, but here we go. Issue 6. This is that cover. It's I forget what it's called. Brim Conception. Is that if I'm saying it right? Brimception variant. Basically, these two as kind of, I don't know if it was like a joke, they took a picture of the Sex Criminals. I think it's the 4th print of issue 1, which had the the creators on it holding a copy of their book in this classic mall Photoshop kind of like look. Like this is the thing. Or you go to Sears and or on the way out of like a Sears and whatnot, they have a little photo area. This kind of thing you'll see up on the wall. So this kind of thing they did on that cover, and then they recreated it, and then this comic cover recreates it by them holding a picture of them holding a picture of them holding a picture. It's almost like an infinity cover of this silly image or silly images mixed back and forth. So pretty fun idea, and it was just made for fun. This was made for, I think, for a local shop out in California, where it was given to them, I believe, and it has a print run of only about 100 copies, so it's not like some huge deal where they made a ton of these. I think it was just kind of a fun thank you for the fans, and they hooked up probably their shop with some copies of this special cover. So the Brimception cover, which actually does have copies in the census. There are 11. There are 398s and 896s of this cover in the census. But good luck finding one, because I said it's, from what I gather, it was limited to only 100 copies printed. So as you're probably not surprised, there are no sales within the last 3 months, nor were there any available for me to show you right now. But one of those oddball things you can go and keep an eye out for. Just a fun little oddball book that who knows? Maybe you get lucky and you stumble into this, and you might. Who knows what you find though? Because I have no idea what the market would be, at least on this right now. But that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this list. And again, thank you for checking this out and checking it all out. The content here on the channel. There are plenty of hard to find books this week, as most of the Ghost Riders, the X Forces, and all the Justice Leagues were only hard to find because there were multiple copies available for all of those books. But even amongst all of this, we still had 4 potential ghosts. If we go by the standard of there's only one available or none available, these 4 meet that criteria, as we had none of the issue 2 1 in 50. I think we had one of the issue 3 1 in 25, none of the Ghost Rider issue 4 1 in 25, and no copies available of that Sex Criminals number 6 Brimception variant. So these four, I feel pretty comfortable giving them the ghost tag for this week. Again, this is a moment in time. Things could change. Copies could pop up in in a couple of months, and this will be a different list. But for now, I feel comfortable with this. This is all just for fun, and I'm just providing you some information, some cool books to check out and to look for to go and hunt if you're interested. So thanks again for stopping by and checking this out, as well as everything else here on the channel. Thank you all again for the support, getting us up to 2,000 subscribers, and we will just start the slow march towards 3,000 now. I mean, why not? Got to have goals, and that's going to be the goal for this year, I guess. That'll be the goal for this year. That said, I'll give you guys more info on the giveaway as soon as I have it. And check out the tax show on Wednesday, Dollar Bin Digging on Thursday, Mail Call Madness on Friday, Saturday Night Special on, you guessed it, Saturday. Sunday's always the Star Wars show. And then we start the week again anew with Hidden Gems and Chasing Ghosts every week here on Rennavision. I also have a J. Scott Campbell unboxing to do. I got this box in the mail today, so I will probably be doing an unboxing of another J. Scott Campbell mystery box, and maybe if there's any dupes in there, they might go into the prize packs that I'm going to be giving away for 2K. So there's going to be other things mixed in here as well on the channel. I got more ideas of some shows I want to get back to that I haven't done in a while. I might do a top 10 toys again, because even though you guys don't seem to love it right at the start, if I look at the biggest, most watched videos on the channel as a whole, most of them are toy videos. They're slow, but they slowly get picked up and people check them out. So I might take some time, maybe do once a month, do a top 10 toys or something like that. I don't know. I still like toys too. But anyway, enough on that. Again, thank you all. I appreciate you all. And I will be seeing you guys all soon with some more content. All right, later.